Hi, I'm PKLM. I'm here to talk about the recent pest changes and how the farming meta has evolved over the last few days. This video will be a quick overview of what you're going to need for the update, what strategies you can use for regular farming, and then I'll go over what you can do to get gold medals and higher contest scores. I'll get this out of the way first, as this is what the most amount of people are going to be interested in. And the best crop for money is going to stay melons, though if you're going to be pest farming specifically with a Chimera 5 Daedalus axe, mushrooms is going to be a strong contender. The best pests for money are going to be the slug pest with plant matter to the NPC, and the beetle with dung to the bazaar. The beetle is currently the best for money overall, as the pestinator enchant is extremely inflated. Keep in mind that these changes are extremely new and the best strategies may not have been discovered yet. If any major changes come along, I'll be sure to update the guide. There will be a timestamp on screen that you can go to if you're only here for the strategy and already have the max set up. In this section of the video, I'll be going through everything that you might need for this update, though I do still recommend watching the entire video through to the end before making any purchases, as you might not need everything I'll be talking about if you're going for specific strategies over others. I'll be starting with equipment. You're going to need 3/4 rooted Lotus equipment with Pest Vest. The reason you aren't going to be using Squeaky is because it's kind of trash. You also won't be using the Pest Hunter's gloves, as they are also very bad. For pets, you're going to be using a mushroom cow, a hedgehog, and a slug pet. The mushroom cow will be used for just farming, the hedgehog pet for killing, and the slug pet for spawning. The slug pet will need brown bandana, while the other two pets use green bandana. The hedgehog pet can use a brown bandana, depending on the strategy you're going to use, but most of them will be using green bandana. Your vacuum needs to be beady. If dirt becomes around or you can't get your hedgehog to level 100, you can still use buzzing, but keep in mind it is slightly worse for farming, unfortunately. Finally, we get to armor. You're actually going to need two sets of separate armor, a set of Fermento and a set of biohazard armor. For the Fermento set, you're going to need as much farming fortune as possible on it. You can do this by using the /FF command on Skyhanny. As you can see, for me, there are no upgrades available as my armor is maxed. For biohazard armor, you'll be mostly needing Personator 6 as it's the most important enchant. Anything else is optional, depending on the strategy you're going to be using. Before jumping right into the strategies themselves, I will be assuming that you have around 300 bonus pest chance. Anything above is kind of useless, as you'll only be going to kill pests every second spawn. If you're using a Daedalus axe and have much higher bonus pest chance, you can go and kill every spawn. The strategies remain the same. You will only be having slightly more downtime due to killing more often. For this first strategy, it will be the least sweaty possible while still being better than regular farming. You will need your biohazard armor to have as much farming fortune upgrades as possible, as you will not be swapping to Fermento at all. You will need at least two pet rules. The first is on-game collection. For the crop you are farming, equip your slug pet, and the second is when you enter combat, you equip hedgehog. Now simply start farming as usual, and once you hit 8 pests spawn, you go and kill them. Before we get into the second strategy, a quick interruption. In this clip, you can see me teleporting out of my farm, killing pests and teleporting back. This is achieved through the use of Skyhanny and a keybind setting mod like Skytails. I simply set my spawn and then use Skyhanny's features to teleport me to the closest pest. With the pet rules shown in the first strat, you will not be one-shotting, which can be really annoying, especially for some pests like earthworms or jumping pests like cricket. There are a few things you can do to make this better though. The first will be to equip a brown bandana on your hedgehog, and simply forgoing pet rules entirely, though you will lose a lot of bonus pest chance by doing this. The second will be to rod swap to a hedgehog and back after killing pests. This is achieved by having two pet rules. The first will be when you throw your rod, you equip your hedgehog, except if you have the hedgehog equipped. The second is when you throw your rod, equip slug, except if you have slug pet already equipped. If you're going to be pressing buttons anyway and get more farming fortune in Fermento or already have a set of upgraded Fermento, you can also be armor swapping. This is achieved through having two different pet rules. The first is when you equip Fermento, you equip your Hedgehog, and when you equip Biohazard, you equip Slugpet. Another quick interruption, I set a keybind to open the wardrobe and use any used features to quickly swap armor. The third and final strat, which is going to be the best for both money and collection, but is going to require a lot more effort, is still armor swapping to Fermento, and then instead of switching back to Biohazard, you will be throwing a rod to equip your Mushroom Cow, and you will only be swapping back to Biohazard once the 2-minute cooldown for pest spawns is over. Simply have the same pet rules that you use to armor swap, but add an extra, which is going to be when you throw your fishing rod, you equip Mushroom Cow. Another quick addition to the final strat is once you hit around 1 minute and 57 seconds since last pest spawn, you will be switching back to Biohazard armor and waiting for pests to spawn. Once they do, you do not have to go and kill immediately. You can switch back to Fermento and throw your rod once more to equip your Mushroom Cow. In this third and final segment of the video, I will be talking about how to get contest personal best / gold medals. The first thing you're going to be doing is a few hours before the contest starts, you will be checking your traps every few minutes to make sure that only the pest that you need is inside of them. Around 30 minutes before the contest starts, you're going to want to start not killing the pests immediately. You're going to try and get as many of the pests that you need for the contest to be within the same plot. You can start redeeming temporary fortune around 10 minutes before the contest starts, as most temporary fortune sources last over 30 minutes. You will also be making sure that your plots are sprayed and will be sprayed for the entirety of the contest in this 10-minute period. As soon as the contest starts, you will start by killing the 8 pests that you have hopefully gotten into a singular plot. If you have not, you can go and kill them separately, and then you warp to barn using an NEU button or a keybind to kill the pests that are trapped. As you can see in this clip, I click on every single rat, though what you can do is simply pick up the trap, which will release all 3 pests trapped within it at once. Hello. Before I left, I wanted to go over the few things that I do differently than what I stated in the video. The first is going to be a pet rule. This pet rule right here, to be specific, I actually have an extra set of Memento, which I use to save a fraction of a second while pests spawn, while the first set of pests spawn. The other thing that I'm going to be doing differently is while the regular player, once they get to the end of their farm, will have to come here with a mouse mat to manually reset their spawn. I actually have an alt, which I'm going to summon right now. Ta-da! Summoned. So it allows me with an aspiring leap to essentially just teleport to the start of my farm without having to worry about anything. This isn't considered multi-boxing because I'm never actually inputting on both accounts at the same time. Linked within the description of this video is an uncut version of my PB pumpkin contest. You can feel free to check it out if you have any questions. I hope that this video has answered your questions regarding the new farming changes. Thank you for watching, and subscribe to Technoblade or something.